this is your March 2023 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or your moon is in a sign, then this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to my channel and join me for this cosmic conversation. So we're opening up the month of March with the Chariot, and even through Pisces season there's still this gathering of cardinal fire energy with the placements of Aries, and so there is this combustible kind of combination of air and fire that is driving you, propelling you forward really into this new chapter. In many ways it's a clean slate, but there is through the course of March this feeling at times of being almost like out of sync, or feeling a little bit overwhelmed or out of control to the degree that things are moving and shifting and changing. And that means that not only are you having to hold that level of sacred empowerment, but there's also a vulnerability that comes because you're aware with the swiftness and the ferocity at times with things that are changing and the way that you're being asked to change along with that, just how much it's taking really in terms of your ability to stay focused and grounded. But remember, the Chariot is about succeeding against the odds. And in a month where we're lighting up your 10th and 11th house, there's a huge focus around career, around purpose, the way that you're making your mark in the world. And as we begin the month, the 1st and the 2nd, we have Venus and Jupiter. And the conjunction here is really boosting the possibility to initiate something new, to launch something, to push something out into the world. And you are on the move with this. What's important to remember, Gemini, is that how you feel about the choices and decisions that you make, the way that you live your life, and how you choose to express yourself is really far more relevant than what anyone else has to say. You know, this has been and always will be a very intimate conversation with the eternalness of you. So between you and your higher self, these are the contracts you made. These are the vows that you signed up for. And, you know, sometimes in this sort of eternal seeking quest, if you like, to become more enlightened, to become more evolved, to become more awakened, what we want to say to you is that you already are. This is a journey of remembering everything that is already existing within the imprints, within the cells of your body. So you already are light. You're just remembering this. You're not searching and seeking to become it. So how you can become more you, how you can feel more natural, is also bringing in this energy in March of being unapologetic. And I think the 9 of Pentacles really puts you in that firm, grounded and, you know, boundaried position here that says, you know what, there's a time and a place to hold steady to the things that are important to you right now. Nobody knows your truth. Nobody knows what's going on within you and what's meant for you. And so with the best will in the world, as people try to project or tell you what they think might be right for you or what's going on, or even if you feel dismissed or disregarded for certain things that you're saying or ways that you're trying to live your life, there's a reminder through this month. You know, the stars are showing you like you have to follow your path, and that's where your uniqueness emerges. Now this month my sacred soul support is all around becoming more authentically you, and in the shadow we're dealing with dissolving disappointments. I also have a launch of my new book, which is Musings. So for those of you that follow me on social media, it's a collection of all my transmissions and downloads, my poetry, my musings, and all brought together in one sacred space. So please be sure to check that out. It will be shipping this month on the 21st. So we're going to be approaching the full moon in Virgo on the 7th of the month, the same day that Saturn shifts into Pisces. Now, in that Virgo 4th house, it is your very close to home, intimate conversations, if you like, that require you to be the caretaker, the inner parent with yourself. And there's real healing medicine that comes from this. But what that might mean is that something has to come to light in order for you to be able to practice that. And there's a sort of private versus public energy going on around that full moon. So perhaps things that you're dealing with, you're having to decide whether that's something that you can share or that you need to keep close to yourself. Certainly the energy of the Five of Swords does talk to us about the setbacks that we have to face. Sometimes the disappointments or the patterns that keep getting repeated. But I do see you standing your ground in relation to something. So even if you feel that you have to let others down, or you yourself feel let down by others, there's a very nurturing medicine around that full moon in Virgo that requires you to be sacredly taking care of body, mind and soul. And one of the messages that's coming through very strongly this month is about being all in, but we're really redefining this idea of being all in. It's not about sacrificing things to the degree that your nervous system, your chronic stress levels or your health is affected. This is really about meeting the moment, the medicine of that moment, and being all in within that, knowing that all of the answers reside here if you are brave enough and unapologetic enough to then tune inwards and say, I know what the right answer is for me right now. And that's where you'll really get to witness the growth. And in fact, I think you will be shown around that full moon, Gemini, really where you are able to now stay more grounded and empowered, even in the most uncomfortable and even unconventional sort of experiences. You are watching in live streaming, if you like, the transformation that's taking place within you and your life. Now, you have a choice or a decision to make, and you're really going to have to weigh things up. As I always say, there's never a right or a wrong. There's only ever experiences for us. So it's not that you can necessarily get this wrong. But because we have a month where there's so many big planetary shifts, we've got Saturn going into Pisces, we've got the Equinox coming on the 20th, Pluto moves into Aquarius the 23rd, Mars into Cancer coming out of your sign on the 25th. So all of this is really feeding into that energy of the Chariot where it's going to feel a little bit bumpy. You remember, when you're carving a new path and you're taking a different direction for yourself, there's a balance that we're being invited to find. But in order to sort of almost get curious and explore how we do that, the universe has to kind of create this turbulence, if you like. And so that's what I want to say to you. It feels a little turbulent in places through the course of March for you, Gemini, but that's not coming in negatively. It comes in to show you how are you setting yourself up for success. If you could make a change right now, if there would be an adjustment that you would like to undertake, if there's something that is out of order and it needs to be addressed, or there's some focus that needs to be given to it, this is the month to deploy that. And don't feel like it's too late. It's not too late. You definitely have the capacity to be able to spin lots of plates here. Sometimes though, when we're just taking on too much, are we doing things as well as we could be? That's a question that you need to ask for yourself. But as we illuminate 10th and 11th house through March, you do have this energy of work, life balance coming up into the mix quite powerfully for you. Now, mid-month, as Jupiter and Chiron come into conversation, we do have a little bit more of a vulnerability, some of our insecurities being highlighted. And again, this could impact your ability around the reciprocity of different situations. We definitely have an improvement or a gain. You've got lots of earth energy showing up here. So for those of you with the focus in and around abundance, what we're seeing is the opportunity to feel more stable and secure through the options and choices that will start to show up. But there is an action required on your part to go make it happen. Even if there's something that you feel there's a little disappointment or a setback in regards to, and honestly, check out my in the shadow soul meditation, because what we explore, we break the layers down, and we're really going to address whether it's coming from ego or if it's coming from a soul-led place, i.e. innately you're supposed to be somewhere doing something. It's part of your purpose, and so the disappointment is how you haven't been able to realize or achieve that. versus ego that's just, you know, kind of bringing about that expectation and urgency. But we have an improvement. We move from a 2 to a 6, and, you know, we've got this overarching 9. So overall, there's this energy of progress really powerfully, and there's a sense of you bringing form to something. You know, there's a tangible, relatable witnessing of how something has moved on. And I think that you've needed to see that. You know, for some time you've maybe been sitting in the energy of just kind of hoping, wishing, visualizing, trying to do the work behind the scenes. And, you know, there's something now about what you're looking to see manifest by way of, you know, those relationships in your life, the work that you're doing, the conversations that you're having, even the growth within your own spiritual journey. And so something is being sort of answered, if you like, through this month of March. Now, the Princess of Swords comes in and wants to keep the lines of communication open, and I think you have a lot to say. I love this energy showing up for you because it feels heartfelt. There's an earnestness about what you're prepared to share, remembering that full moon in Virgo, as you explore this kind of public versus private, may lead you to a firm decision on what will feel the right way forward for you. You know, sometimes experiences that we have are incredibly sacred, and when we choose to share them too quickly, they somehow lose a little bit of that magic. And so there's something here about you really honoring your process, your uniqueness, or even something that's going on between you and someone else, or, you know, within your family, whatever it is, and just wanting to hold on to that magic a little bit longer before it kind of gets communicated out into the world. But with that vulnerability is also a request, an invitation from the universe, if you like, to really ask if you are at peace with yourself right now. And even though it sounds like a super simple question, take the time to sit and look in the mirror and really ask that truthfully, because there's an accountability asked of all of us through the course of 2023, where we have to walk our talk and we have to show up as more authentically who we are in our natural essence. And so being at peace with all aspects of you is going to matter as you drive forward. And as these planetary shifts take place, you know, there's new conversations that are going to be sparked in different areas of your life. So this is about your exiting from certain cycles and making sure that you really learned the lesson, and that you're leaving, you know, this particular period or cycle with full integration and understanding of how it's changed you, how you want to be changed from it. So the equinox happens on the 20th as the sun shifts into Aries, and we then have the new moon on the 21st. And so around this time, this beautiful lighting up of your 11th house around groups, technology, and your hopes and dreams, Gemini. And so again, something here that perhaps you're ready to share. And again, the need to be charitable and generous in certain areas of your life, not to the degree that you deplete your own energy, but to the degree that you are able to clearly understand what value you have to offer or to bring in certain situations. I also do feel that you've got like almost like a series of sort of milestones, if you like, that you're going to start to realize in terms of specific relationships. So perhaps where you've been looking for shifts or changes, it may not happen all at once, although for some that could be the case. But I think as that new moon approaches with equinox and you have that beautiful release point, celestially kind of aligning to how the natural rhythms of this universe are supporting you, you will see in a specific relationship the kind of key measurable. Remember, there's a lot of tangible, kind of real, grounded evidence showing up for you this month, Gemini. And, you know, when Mars comes out of your sign at the end of the month on the 25th, you know, there's a lot to take stock and to consider and really learn from. And having now, you know, being completely sort of free and clear of the shadow of the retrograde, there really is a beautiful green light for you, especially illuminating into your second house as Mars shifts into Cancer, which will be really beneficial for the continuation of this drawing more abundance in towards what's going on for you. But this need to be unapologetic through the month of March is important. It really helps you to own, you know, the energy that you bring to the room and be clear about what you know is right for you. So our final 3 cards, Gemini, we cover off in the extended version of the reading. And if you're new to the channel, you'll find the link in the comment and description box underneath for that. We talk for another 25-30 minutes or so to explore the month ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead and clarify the main reading, which will give us an insight into the direction or any additional twists and turns that are going to come up through that extended reading. So beginning with the Chariot, we have the energy of the 4 of Swords and another Chariot coming through. Ace of Cups, beautiful. And the energy of the World. What about this 5 of Swords? 7 of Wands. And the Alchemist. Nice ability to alchemize and transmute whatever the heaviness of that 5 is. Remember, it's a low number comparative to the major coming through there. Okay, what about the 2 of Pentacles? Decisions and choices. Got Queen of Earth showing up and the energy of the Hermit. 9 of Swords. Page of Cups. Strength and the 10 of Cups. Now all the decks that I use are also listed in the comment and description box underneath, okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my deck, and you can again check this out over on my website. So let's look at this energy of the double Chariot. What do we have? Earth Star energy, more rooting, grounding in here. Soul stories coming through. Energy conversations. Spirit Horse. Waterfalls of white light, and we actually have the Equinox card turning up. Beautiful. Be sure to check out my Equinox meditations as well to support you during those times. Okay, let's pull one more here, Gemini. Honesty at the edge of quiet. Okay, and we're also going to pull a energy oracle here. This is for the month of March. What do we have? Archangel Ariel connected into your 2nd chakra. She also connects into nature and animals, and of course Virgo is also ruling animals as well, so around that full moon, that being very poignant. Okay, so finally I'm just going to invite you to consider a personal question, and we will also pull a couple of specific cards for this to go over in your extended reading, Gemini. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a really beautiful month of March. I look forward to continuing this conversation, see where it takes us in the extendeds, and I will see you again next time. You take care.